Hello, welcome to this video. To, I'm Terry Lee Shield. I'm host here at Love School. If you've not met me before, I always keep forgetting to introduce myself. I'm Terry. Hello, great to have you here. This video today is going to be about the reality of co-creation, manifesting beyond illusions. And what I want to dive into, this is part of three videos that I've made. So I've already made a previous two. I'll link them up in the description if you want to go and have a look, because it might kind of frame a little bit of what I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, you should be able to watch each of the videos separately and have them make sense. But yeah, if you're interested, this sparks something in you and you're interested in the videos, go and watch them. Or if you feel called to pause this, watch them, come back. It's up to you. But what I want to talk about in this video is grounding down all this talk about manifesting, about law of attraction and stuff into my personal experience of what I've found it really means, okay, to manifest. I use terms here at Love School, conscious creation a lot. I've even referred to me at times as a conscious creator. And there's content that I've done as well about co-creation, which is kind of conscious shortened, but also meaning consciousness being our own consciousness, but also this like collective consciousness that we have, which is with other humans, with nature, with the world, with God, if you like. So consciousness, using that consciousness to create. So being more aware of the impact of our creations, what we create, and maybe it's all the different ingredients involved in that. And like I say, I sometimes use that as co-create, which is a bit like collaboration. It's more kind of using our consciousness to create something in response to our reality, our circumstances, our community, our life. Okay. So if I slip into talking about co-creation or conscious creation, it's all the same sort of thing. I have a design background. I'm a designer. So naturally, I've just kind of known naturally this process of being able to imagine something and bring it to life. Okay. Maybe I wasn't always very skilled at it initially at the beginning, but it's just naturally how I am as a creative. For example, this clothes I'm wearing is a piece of art. I didn't necessarily imagine it. I kind of used the energy art that inspired me to create the art. I created the art and then I've used that art to design something else, which is a product. And now I can wear it. So I've co-created, I've consciously kind of created something from energy, from imagination, from something that didn't exist, that was non-tangible, and made it real. And I've done that in many, many different areas of life. So I just want to frame that as to give you a perspective of where I'm coming from here. So yes, I've explored spirituality, but actually I've kind of gone full circle now after doing lots of exploration in spirituality and this idea of manifestation, right? And realized I kind of already did it. And I actually already did it pretty successfully before I started trying to manifest. Okay. And I've got to a point now where I kind of understand why. And I'm going to break it down in this video. A lot of what I see or what has been shown to me, either say on Love School, on YouTube, in video form, in just kind of the spiritual community, if you like, around manifestation, law of attraction. Maybe you've come to this over like a magical route, witchcraft, any of that, right? It's all kind of manipulating our reality, isn't it? It's kind of trying to change our reality to suit our vision, if you like, what we want for ourselves. It's essentially bringing something new into existence, changing our circumstances and designing our life. We do a lot of stuff about life design at Love School. Just kind of bringing that all together so you understand the relevance. But that's all it is, right? Like there's so much talk about manifesting as if it's like this magical, energetic. Well, it is. It is when you think about it that way. It's magical. We can imagine something in our brain and then it happens. That's kind of magical, right? But it's also, we do it all the time. I can imagine a sandwich. I go to the kitchen. If I'm blessed and lucky enough to have the ingredients in my kitchen, I can make a sandwich. The sandwich didn't exist. I had the ingredients. I made the sandwich. If we think about that from start to finish, there's a lot of steps going into making that sandwich, right? Not only do I have to imagine the sandwich, I have to have had all the ingredients, potentially stored the ingredients, prepare the ingredients, put the ingredients together, make the sandwich, and eat the sandwich. And beyond even that, loads of other people were involved in making all of that food, growing the food, processing the food, getting the food to the supermarket, me getting into the supermarket to get the food. There was a lot of energy went into my imagined sandwich to the process of creating the sandwich to eating the sandwich. And I love that analogy of the sandwich, and I use it often to just really simply explain manifesting, co-creation, whatever you want to call it. We as humans are capable of that, and we do it all the time. Okay, there's nothing woo about it. There's nothing, well, like I say, it is kind of magical, but there's nothing not real about that. Okay, think about it that way. If you ever start to feel off in this illusion of spirituality of manifesting, come back to the sandwich. Imagine the sandwich, get the ingredients, make the sandwich, eat the sandwich. Manifested it. Right. And what I want to do now is kind of break down some of this stuff that I have seen a lot of content around YouTube about. So they'll talk generally on YouTube, if you're talking about law of attraction, right? And there's some really great information out there, right? If you're interested in it, look, you'll find loads of it. And then the algorithm will show you loads and you'll manifest loads more information about manifestation. But essentially, what they normally say is imagine it, believe it's going to happen, feel as if it's already happened, and then take action, and then it happens. There's even some trails of thought that are a bit like imagine it and it'll come to you. Maybe I'm going to give some examples at the end, right, of different ways I've manifested. And I'm not denying that any of this is possible, okay? Because I actually do kind of love to believe in magic and all the possibility of the world, miracles, manifestations, all of it. It brings me joy. So I'm not saying that's not possible, because I've manifested some things in very unexplainable ways, right? But also, I kind of believe that is possible. So maybe all this manifestation stuff is true. But I kind of want to break this down into a really grounded way of those steps and stages, okay? And how to kind of understand that in a really practical way. So if you're getting kind of caught up in this illusionary idea of what manifesting is, or kind of how to be spiritual or to be more energetically aligned and all of this language, right? I'm going to ground it right down to reality in this video. Oh, I also have done a video called Karma and Manifestation Masterclass, which actually it's just like an hour-long masterclass, that one. So we kind of might want to sit down and get some popcorn. What that explains, though, is about our karmic debt when trying to manifest, which might be something you want to consider. And I'll maybe touch on it a little bit in this video, but if you want to dive into that, there's like an hour-long thing and I'll link it. Let's start with the idea of belief, right? And this idea of belief, which, first of all, you have to have an image, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be as specific as what a lot of people say, I don't think, in my experience. Sometimes it helps. When you're manifesting your sandwich, you might want to know exactly what kind of sandwich you want. But you can also be like, I'm hungry, and go to the fridge and make some food up. You don't always have to have the exact image in your head, but it does help sometimes. And You do need to have a really clear intention. So intention is very important at first, okay? You have to intend to have something to eat in order to then go through that process of manifesting the sandwich, right? There has to be some sort of intention there. We have to want it, okay? We have to want the thing. We have to be meeting a need, to have that motivation, to actually intend to do, manifest, have the thing, and then follow through with it, okay? We can manifest anything. So if we don't intend to have that in our life, then I mean, some things do come in our life, and that's going to be explained in the whole karma masterclass thing. I don't want to get too confusing in this. I'm trying to keep it grounded, right? We have to have some sort of intention. So that might be a vision of something that we want to create, something that we want. We know we want to change. We know we want to take our circumstances from where they are to something else, and that there'll be something that has to happen, change, or come into our lives in order to make that happen. Anyway, so we've got the intention. Then we need to believe that it's possible. Now, a lot of this, they'll talk a lot about manifestation and beliefs. And this is where things like affirmations can come in, which is it is actually a really powerful way of reprogramming our subconscious. It can take a bit of time to get into a practice of your subconscious being quite open to affirmations and getting clear on the right affirmations and stuff like that. We do actually have a free course, affirmations that are specifically for healing, that we've done at Love School. I'll link it. But yeah, we have to believe it's possible. And I'll bring this back to the sandwich, right? If we don't believe there's food in the fridge, if we don't think there's food in my fridge to make the sandwich, or if we don't believe I can just go to the shop and buy the ingredients, if we don't believe even I could knock on a neighbor's door and ask for the ingredients if I don't have it, if we literally do not think it's possible to get the food, we can't manifest the sandwich. But it's not because it's not possible. It's because we won't take action towards it. We won't follow that intention. I might be hungry. I might really have the intention to eat. I really want to eat. But if there's, and this is where they talk about limiting beliefs, blocking ourselves, that sort of thing. If I don't believe that it's possible for me to get food, I'm not going to extend the energy to look for it. If we're going to go out hunting, we kind of have to believe that there's something to hunt. Yeah. If we're going to go out gathering, I'm taking this back to like caveman days, we have to believe there's something there to gather. Humans are this biological ecosystems that use energy incredibly wisely. We are not going to waste energy on something that we think is a waste of energy and time. Okay. It's just really our whole biological brain, nervous system, everything is wired to preserve and best use energy. Okay. So we have to believe it's possible before we'll even allow ourselves to extend the energy that's possible to start to go through the next steps. So this is where the belief comes in. This is where it's really, really important that we think something is possible for us as well. It might even be that we haven't got to the point where we believe it's possible for us yet, which we'll go through in the steps, but at least that it is possible. There's an option there. There's a possibility. I believe it's possible. And then we might be willing to follow that intention. The other thing is when we're trying to just to bring it back, this idea of belief, especially if we have contradictory beliefs, well, it might be possible for them, but it's not possible for me, or it might be possible, but we've got these buts. And this is where, again, more different affirmations might come in. Shadow work might have to come in, where we have to start clearing some of those blocks and all those different things. Because I tell you why, people know when we doubt. We are like energetic beings. We can pick that up. So even if we're not aware we're doubting, the only times I've really successfully manifested something is either blind ignorance, because I just thought, oh, why wouldn't this be possible? Or true belief in a thing. So like sales, like I really believe in this product, or I really believe in that this outcome is possible. And if you don't, people will pick up on that. We might be putting all our energy into doing something, but if we don't believe it's going to be successful, if we don't believe it's going to benefit other people, they're kind of going to pick that up, and then we don't get that reciprocal energy that we want to kind of build the momentum to get us towards the thing that we want. So just bear that in mind with belief. There might be quite a lot around the belief, which is to do with our mind, that can block things from happening in our life. And this could be a karmic thing, okay? This could be conditioning that we've been programmed with, we've been conditioned into from a young age. So sometimes even just getting to this point of belief can take quite a bit of work, actually, depending on what we're trying to manifest for ourselves, how different that is from our current reality. If all we've known is pain and suffering, and we're trying to create something that's beautiful, inspiring, and light, and all we've known is heaviness and darkness, that might not seem possible. And there might be lots of reasons and lots of feedback as to why, okay? And that's where like things like I say, like what we do at Love School with shadow work and things like that come in. The next thing that I've observed is alignment. And this is a bit like what I'm touching on there. Things happen when they're ready. We can't force these things. So it might be that we have to do the shadow work and the affirmations and things like that to correctly prepare the conditions for the manifestation to happen. This is like the sandwich with having the stuff in the fridge. Okay, this is the steps you need to take to have the ingredients ready to make the sandwich. If we think like a cake, that might be a little bit more complex to think about, like rather than the sandwich, might be a bit easier. You can't rush the cake from baking, right? You might have all of the, you can't force a cake to bake quicker. You can change the temperature of the oven, perhaps. It might then burn or be undercooked in the middle. Do you know what I mean? It'll just not be quite right. And that's, again, go and have a look at that comment masterclass. That's kind of what happens when we try and force and rush things. So this phase of alignment is making sure that the conditions are right, that not only we believe the thing is possible, that it is possible. You can't bake a cake without eggs. You can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't bake a cake without an oven. So you need to make sure you've got the eggs, you've got the oven. Same with a sandwich. You've got to have those ingredients in the fridge, or in the cupboard, or whatever it is. You've got to have the ingredients, and the ingredients have to be prepared in order for it to happen. And there's an energy investment of time that goes into that. Just is, you can't imagine the sandwich, it just manifests. Maybe it's if you're really rich, you can, I don't know, not even then, you can't even send off your servant and come back with a sandwich. Like it's still so much goes into that. You still need the servant and they still need somebody to get the food. Do you know what I'm saying? This alignment phase is where we consider what's required to not only make this seem possible, that it is possible. And sometimes we can't always explain that or see that. And this is why, like I say, things like shadow work might come in, where we have to like learn to align in ourselves, have ourselves ready for that, be open to the process and creating the conditions for this thing to happen for us, to happen in our lives. And that can be something we can't control. So this is a lot when they talk about like surrender in manifestation and stuff, surrender to the process and follow your intuition and stuff. That's all that. Follow the steps. You'll get often inspired actions to take, which I'll go back to the first video I did about taking awakened actions, right? Will be breadcrumbed of things we need to do that's going to start preparing the conditions for this manifestation to happen. And we can't always rush that. There are forces beyond our control that will dictate the possibility of that. That alignment process might take a while. It might take steps of change, steps of you changing, doing, being different in order to align with the circumstances that manifestation needs in order to be real in your life. Okay. If any of this doesn't make any sense or I need to go in a bit more detail, let me know in the comments. I can always make more content. The next thing a lot of them manifestation things talk about is feeling, right? Feel the way you would feel if you have the thing. And I'm going to explain this a little bit. Everything is energy, okay? Feelings, emotions, or energy motions. We are trying to go from one energetic state to another, an energetic state without the thing to an energetic state with the thing. And when they say feel as if you have the thing, it's not necessarily just as simple as I think the thing will make me feel really good, so I'm going to feel really good. This will explain a little bit more. It's a bit like that alignment thing. You've got to prepare the conditions. We hear a lot. I don't know if I'll be on yet when you see this. Hopefully very, very soon. If not, like and subscribe. There's going to be a brilliant podcast out soon, right? With Rebecca Kiger, who talks about money. Okay. And she actually tells a story where one of her family members won a lotto and became a statistic and then lost that money. Okay. So the conditions, right? They manifested something, but the conditions weren't necessarily right. It happened, but because the conditions weren't quite right, they lost the thing. They lost the money. It left. And also, I'm going to guess there was a lot of feeling, a lot of energy involved in that manifestation. Winning the lottery, I imagine, involves a lot of excitement, and excitement is a high energy state. When we're in high energy states, we can't sustain it. It burns us out, okay? A sustainable energy is quite calm and steady. Now, there might be fluctuations in that, of course, that's life. But generally, if something feels anxious to us, very heightened energy, excited to us, very heightened energy, we can't hold that energy for very long. And think about excitement, right? Think about anxiety. It comes and then it goes. If you manifest something in that heightened feeling, it'll come and then it'll go. So if you want to manifest something that's really temporary, use that. Yeah. Use that heightened energy. Know the energy, know the feeling of the thing that you want to manifest. If you want to manifest something that's like long term, then you've got to maintain that feeling long term. Does that make sense? If you're wanting to manifest well-being, right? A well-being, like things that align with well-being, you need to maintain that energy where it can stay of peace. You can't be up and down all the time and find something that's going to be stable. So this is what they're talking about with this feeling thing. Feel as if you've got the thing. Now, there can also be lots of conditions attached to the thing. So say if you want to manifest money, right? Again, check out that. It's Love Fools, episode 26. I will link that also. If we feel really anxious, if we've got an association of save money, we want to manifest money. If we've got an association of anxiousness with money, when the thing comes, even if we do manifest the money, it'll bring with it anxiety, because that's all the shit we are bringing in with that manifestation. So when they say feel as if you have the thing, you could manifest money through anxiousness. People do it all the time. People are anxious and go to work and they get money for it, right? And then there's association in your brain, in your body. Money equals anxiety. Therefore, I need to be anxious to manifest money. Therefore, in order to get money, I need to be anxious. You get in the cycle? Hope that's making sense. If we can be calm and have money, it's going to be more sustainable. But then we have to make associations with money and calmness, right? Which might take a lot of time. That might take the alignment. That's going to take that association. Every time we then get money, we have to try and stay calm with it. Because if we want to sustain sustainable money, we have to be calm about it. Like, we can manifest something in our life, right? And it can be really exciting temporarily. But when we get used to something, it's not exciting anymore, is it? Like, you might get a new car, right? You get a new car, it's really exciting. Yay! In 3 years, you're not going to be that excited about that same car, I promise you. There'll be a whole story with the car. You might still be excited that you can travel, or you might still love your car. You might be like, oh, this is a brilliant car. But you won't feel that same buzz, if you like, as when it comes in. So if you really want the car, How does it feel long term? How does the car feel 3 years later? Can you maintain that sort of energy? So the car just feels natural and part of your life. And this is the next and final stage. Next stage is to be able to embody the thing, right? So we've got all the alignment, the conditions are right, we've got the feeling. We feel as if we can accept it. We believe we can. The conditions are right. In fact, we know we can handle it. And what I've noticed is when we are just, again, when they talk about surrender and letting go and taking aligned action and all this and feel as if you have the thing, when we're just living and that's just our life, and we have put this thing out there where we want and we're kind of walking towards it anyway, it's going to come. And we kind of just know it's going to come because we're walking in that direction. If we want to go to the beach and we just keep taking steps towards the coast, eventually, it doesn't matter how long it takes, we're going to get to the coast. We know it's going to be there because we're walking towards it. And we are living it. We are in the feeling of how it feels to have it because we're going there. And just chatting to people, like real life people, and just getting curious about have they ever manifested something or whatever. That is very true, is what people have said is they asked for something and the opportunity came up, but they were kind of already living that in a way. You're not going to manifest being a rock star if you can't play an instrument. If you play an instrument, if you're in a band, if you are gigging and you're meeting like music producers and record labels, you're much more likely to be a rock star, right? You can't be a rock star and sit on your ass at home without playing an instrument. It doesn't matter how much you imagine it. Doesn't matter. You have to be like living that life. You have to, like, you just have to. It's not going to happen without that. That's how our energy changes and transmutes. And the other thing is as well, like, imagine if you did get the opportunity, right? You know, like all this X Factor opportunity. Oh, that's a really good example. This X Factor. I don't watch the telly anymore, but I remember those shows. You know what I mean? Pop stars and all that. These people are not. They live in a normal life. A lot of them, and then they'll go and then they'll do some singing and they'll be really good, and then they might even win the show. And there's so few of them actually can maintain a singing career. They don't have the skills, they don't have the contacts, they don't have the energetic. They're not able to embody and hold that energy. It's the same with the lottery winners. They don't have the identity of being wealthy. They don't know how to manage money. So they just lose it. They just spend it wrong. They don't invest it properly. Same with these X Factor people and stuff, right? They don't know how to be a performer. They don't know how to deal with the music industry. They don't know how to negotiate a deal, a song deal, a record deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you actually have gone through, so they might manifest that experience, but they can't hold it. It's not going to be sustainable. And it might just be they just wanted to manifest that experience, okay? They might just wanted that experience of rising to fame and then they'll go away again. Same with all these one-hit wonders and things. They can manifest the experience, but because if they haven't had that experience and it's not aligned with their trajectory and all that, they can't embody it, they're not going to be able to maintain it. And the other thing, I mean, I believe we have a destiny as well. Like, sometimes we can manifest things and it's for an experience, it's for a different reason. It might not be on our destiny to have the thing that we want to manifest. And we might still be given the opportunity to manifest the thing because energy isn't biased that way. But actually we realize this is not for me. It's not my path. Didn't want it. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't actually, now I have the thing. I don't want it. Don't want it anyway. I want to change career or do something different. You know what I mean? So all this is possible, but true co-creation comes from when all of this stuff comes together. So all that considered, I just want to reiterate a sustainable manifestation that's aligned with our purpose, our path, our full, fulfilled soul expression, a manifestation that is going to benefit us, that's free of any past karma and all that stuff, will already be on our trajectory. We will feel motivated to follow and do that manifestation because it feels right the whole way. Okay. We believe it's possible, it's believable to us, it's aligned to our best interests, it feels normal, right? It feels good to keep taking these steps, even when it gets difficult, to keep following it. Like, it is acceptable to us. We don't reject it when it comes. We have the knowledge, we have the skills, we have the energetic alignment and full holistic way of being that supports the manifestation that we want. And often the journey is part of that manifestation process. So rather than thinking of manifestation as some imaginary woo-woo magical thing, which is magical, we can still go from A to B. You can still go from being a suicidal addict to being a happy, fulfilled, well person. Okay, it's possible. It's all possible, but it's not just going to happen. Okay, I want to give you a few examples of just really grounded manifestation experiences that I've had to hopefully just help you accept if you're at that first stage of believing that this is possible. Okay. And funnily enough, actually, I want to just explain actually where I first came up to the law of attraction stuff. I was in the Philippines, right? And I am from the north of England. I was living as a photographer in London and had been given this opportunity out of the blue to go and work in the Philippines as a photographer in this amazing place, right? Imagine, there is no way, right? I'm telling you, not a chance that the version of me could have imagined that I would be in that scenario. Okay. However, I just naturally manifested that and it happened. And it just so happened that I was given a book by, I think it was my sister or my auntie, called The Secret, which you've possibly heard if you're on this manifestation journey. The Secret, which is about visualizing and believing something that's going to happen and it'll happen. So it's basically trying to break down like exactly what I'm telling you here. And I read that book. That was like, I think it was 2010 when I went over there. It's like 14 years ago. But the irony is, I already was manifesting. I just didn't, like I say, I just didn't have this grasp on it. I'd already like done all that. But then what's really kind of, which links to this whole karma thing, I want to, like I say, do watch that as part of this. Because it might explain a lot if you've struggled with manifestation and stuff. That was such a surreal experience. Philippines, it was amazing and also really stressful for all sorts of reasons that I'm not going to get in here. So I did manifest this amazing opportunity, but it wasn't aligned. It was just crazy. It was not maintainable, and it actually kind of, call it destiny or whatever you want. It actually led to my awakening experience and a lot of stress in my life and stuff. Just being over there and all of that, I wasn't quite ready for it, and it happened, and it was a big shock and processing it all led to me like a bit of a mental health crisis and lots of stress getting back. Anyway, as I'm saying, there was a lot of karma involved in that manifestation. So I did manifest and I manifested it very easily without trying or pushing or any of that. It kind of all happened because I was wanting to, do that. It was on my trajectory at the time. And all that, but because I had all this unprocessed trauma, because I wasn't evolved as a person, because I didn't really have, I didn't know how to handle myself in the situation. It was a very, very important karmic lesson. Was that manifestation? So manifestation is possible in any terms. I want to give you another couple of examples. I was running a community interest company. I just started it and I had just, was just telling people around. It was like local based around food and stuff. And one of the things that we did at the time was collecting food waste, and we needed funding. I put out into the universe we needed funding. Like, this was something I wanted. I imagined we were doing like funding bids, imagined taking action, was aligned with living the life. Then one day I was just collecting the food from the supermarket like I did in my routine on the trajectory. Somebody I knew, in fact, it was quite scary at the time, came running up to me because I didn't recognize them, all like excited. I was a bit like terrified in the moment, but was like, oh my God, I can't believe I've seen you here. I've got some funding for you. And I was like, what? They were like, look, all you've got to do is like write a letter. I told them all about it. They're gonna absolutely love your project, blah, 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 blah. And I did, just had to write a letter, and that turned into like 30 grand, I think, worth of funding. I didn't get that all at once. I built a relationship with the people. I think that initial grant was like £5,000, which we really needed at the time. And then they supported us more and more. And I think that, like I said, that turned into like 30 grand's worth of money for this project. So again, just out of the blue, coming to me, attracting it to me because I was surrendered. I wasn't, I didn't chase that funding. It came to me because of everything that had been going on in the aligned action. Another one, same organization, similar project. We had built, so we had a garden thing. We had built this like shed, right? And the only thing, and I love this, as one of my favorite stories. The only thing that was missing, because we'd put like I didn't. The guy at the time I did it. He put like roof tiles on it, and it looked beautiful. It really did. He did a brilliant job. It was all like reclaimed stuff on that, and we were really proud of it. In this really nice aligned energy of look, we did it. This was really satisfying. He was really proud of himself, and it was just like a really nice feeling. And we literally he just went. The only thing it needs is some pointing for the top, and it'll be perfect, and I'll be so pleased with it. He just finished saying that, and a truck went past behind us, stopped, came back and went, do you need some pointing for the top of that shed? And it was like, yes, I do. And they had just finished a job and had some pointing, and it was exactly the right color that matched the tiles, and they gave it to us for free. They were like, that looks great, we love what you're doing. Again, it just happened because we were already on that trajectory. We were already doing the thing. We weren't looking for the pointing or anything. It just came about. The universe just conspired with us to bring that manifestation into reality. I've noticed the same, like Love School, we talk a lot about relationships, and I've had a lot of problems with relationships in the past. So it wasn't as if I ever had problems manifesting relationships. My problem was that the relationships I manifested were shit. And I didn't know how to have healthy relationships. I had to do a lot of knowledge. I had to do a lot of alignment to clean up my relationship energy, shall we say. Relationships had a lot of stress involved with me, a lot of anxiety, sometimes a lot of attraction and excitement. High energy, and they would come and go and different things. They were generally very drama filled, all of that horrible traumatic stuff to do with relationships. Again, what Love School is about. As I've followed this process, what I've noticed now as my relationship with relationships is much calmer, much more sustainable, when I have the skills to actually be able to build relationships. Not only are my relationships better, they're maintainable, they're aligned, and they start to come to me. Like, people approach me because they want to be in a relationship with me, and that doesn't really matter to me either. Like, I know now how to discern whether that's going to be a healthy relationship dynamic or not. And if not, I know I don't need it. I want it. There's that surrender there. Do you know what I mean? The more we can be embodying and living in the thing that we want, even if the thing, so for example, even just improving relationships with your family members and going through that alignment process will bring in better friendships. Being able to maintain better friendships and sustain that over a longer period, bring in the love relationship you want or the better work collaborations that you want, because it's all the same skill based. To see what I mean? So I'm going to leave that a little bit there and just kind of summarize a little bit for you. My cat kind of give me a brilliant example of manifestation before, right? My cats can't open doors. So if the cats want the door opened, they have to go up to the door, right? They know the door can't open itself. So they have to go up to the door, and then they'll signal to me, often energetically, and I'll go up and open the door. And the cat is then free to go into a new world. That is manifestation in its essence. We have to go up to the door, and we have to wait for the right circumstances for that door to open, and then we go through the door into a whole new experience. And that's manifestation. Grounded. At Love School, we're looking at all the stuff in this alignment thing, clearing, believing, clearing all of our stuff, shadow work, getting on that trajectory, life design, planning your life. So you're on that trajectory. So the things that you want in your life can happen. We're creating the right conditions and the right environment where that can all happen. And everything I'm trying to produce here at Love School is to support you to get that, because I know it's possible, because I've done it, did it. Like, never at one point would have believed that I could have been as peaceful, well, happy, fulfilled as I am now. I didn't, you know what I mean? I might not have thought it was possible. I had to do a lot to get to that point, and now it's just my life. And I want the same for you, as many of us as possible. So if you're interested in all this, there's loads of content for free here on the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment, let me know your experiences, ask any questions. You can also email me any questions or anything at mail@loveschool.uk. Love School itself has loads of extra content as well. So that's loveschool.uk. We've got blogs, there's the podcast is posted up there, free content, free lessons and courses and things like that. If you're particularly interested in courses that might be linked to this, you know what, you probably better get in the whole curriculum. The membership will be open very soon. Our community membership will be launching probably in the next couple of months. But for now, you can actually buy the curriculum, right? It's a really great price. And you'll get access to all the courses. And then as it grows, as we get new courses and things in, it'll just be keep added. So you don't even have to, like, buy any new courses. It'll all just be there, and we'll be doing events and all sorts of wonderful things. But there's a lot of courses that are all going to help you on this alignment journey with the life design and shadow work and finding recovery. So everything that you are bringing into your life is aligned for your best interests, and you can get a life that you love and want. Okay, I feel like this video has gone a bit longer than I wanted to, but I hope it's been helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Watch the previous videos if you feel like it's aligned. I'll link them all. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Bye.